Mic check 212. This live. All right, we good. We are a go. So listen, welcome back to another episode of Mindset Academy with your host Terrence Feagin. As you know, hey, first off, I just want to appreciate the day. Right now it is Sunday afternoon. It's about 4:42. Really pretty much all day. Just been, helping out with the house, cleaning up, wife doing hair, so I'm taking care of the kids. But after that, was able to go out and get something to eat with the family, grab lunch, came back, watched the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And really, I'm just filling this out just to give y'all a little bit of what I do in the day, because I think it's important. It's important to take time off, and today was really just taking that time off, enjoying the Memorial Day weekend, and really just trying to come up with, a few different plans for the week and a few different plans for the month and going on. But, honestly, I think the biggest plan is just me being in front of this computer and this mic and giving you important information. As I say, I always like to give out dimes. I always like to give out gems. I always like to give out valuable information because I always know that it can help out. And right now we've been interrupted by, it looks like Maya. So right now, say what's up. So yeah, I'm actually in the garage now. So I'm starting to move the studio around a little bit more, give a little bit more, I would say, flexibility to myself other than just being in the actual office. Because, sometimes when you get stationary, it gets boring. But today's episode, what are we talking about? I wanted to go back in a little bit more from the cultural mindset video that actually just dropped. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, go check that out. Right now it's on YouTube. It's really all about just inspiring and getting back and just learning what you're doing. Wait 1 second, we getting interrupted. What are you saying? Okay, cool. We'll go later. Okay. Yeah, so basically I just got interrupted from this entire podcast because my daughter wants to go to Starbucks. If anybody you out, look, firm advice. If you got kids, don't give them Starbucks, because then they're going to start treating Starbucks like how they do McDonald's. And, that kind of gets in the way. But anyway, listen, enough small talk, enough of the blasphemy. Let's get into this podcast. All right. So in today's podcast, as I said, I wanted to go deeper into some of, the different topics that I was just talking about in the cultural mindset, which pretty much was, setting up goals and, using your thoughts, working hard, blah, blah, blah. In this podcast, I really want to talk to you about mastering the art of visualization and unleashing the power of your mind. So in this podcast, I want you to really dive in with me and join me, because I want to focus in on visualization and exploring how incredible the potential, like literally the potential to pull out of your dreams and your thoughts and transform them into your life, like in your physical reality. And I think that, visualization is a powerful mental technique that involves creating vivid memories and vivid images in your head and harnessing that power of imagination to manifest your desires and all the things that you want to achieve in your life and to enhance your personal growth. So in this podcast, I really want to explore more. I want to give you some of the aspects of visualization and including the history and the scientific basis. So we're going to dive real deep into this. All right. And I will be sharing you more of the insight and experience that I have in relation to visualization. So in this episode, I really want to talk about it again and talk about, the introduction of visualization, where it really came from. But I want to provide you an overview of visualization and a definition. So visualization for me really started when I was a kid. As I said, there was a lot of different things that I wanted in my life, but I didn't really know how to get it. I was broke. I really didn't have much. But one thing that I knew is that I had mental powers. I had mental powers to be able to see it. And it started from a young age and it just continued to grow. But I didn't really understand visualization or the mental, techniques that we have until later in my life, honestly. Like, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I think even at 30, it was when I really started reading more and more, about mental powers. Think and Grow Rich was the one book that really inspired me and showed me like, yo, there's things out there that, you can really have. It's just the fact of, using the certain powers that you have. Those certain powers was visualization for me. So visualization, let's actually get the definition. I've never really looked up the definition of it. So let's do that right now. Quick Google search. So a quick Google search of the definition of visualization, and it tells us the physical or imaging creation of images, diagrams, or animations to create a message. So let's focus on what that technique is all about. Yeah, you can create images, but now you have to put that with the goal. And that's why I said goals are so important. You have to know what you want, because most people are using the actual technique of visualization wrong. They visualize all the things that they don't want. They say all the things that they don't want, like, man, I hate going to work. And then when you get to work, that's what you actually are creating in your mind. But what I'm saying is, like, people are not creating the world around them that they actually enjoy, and I think it's more because we focus on stress. A lot of times we get focused on stress, and that stress can cause us to not really think. It's not going to help us. Like, if you're thinking about stressful situations of how you're going to eat, how you're going to work, you hate your job, you hate your spouse, shit like that, like, you're not going to be able to create the world that you want. Like, it's just plain and simple. You're not going to be focused on the things that you want. You're not going to be focused on, trying to build a multi-million-dollar career if you focused on, the hate. So what I'm saying is visualization is important, and it's really going to give you, a lot of the actual components that you need or that you would like to have in your life, but you have to start using the technique right. And I think learning and understand what the definition of, and it's plainly simple, creating images. Those images that you create is what you're going to move towards. And the science of visualization, which is kind of the next topic here, is, and from a scientific definition, of course, there's so many scientists and there's so many individuals that can tell you, how it works in the scientific world. Like, your brain starts to use some type of chemical that makes you think a certain way. Yeah, all that's cool, but let's really dive into the science here. So let's check out our old actual friend, which is something we use every day. And it's not even a guess, not even a question. It's Google. All right. We have Google in front of us. And this is basically what it says. If you type in the science behind visualization, it says visualization is based on neuroscience, how the brain works. And when combined with the content of vision and strategic action, that's big, strategic action, it can seem like magic. I'm telling you, it's almost like magic. It feels like magic, but let's keep reading. But it is just the result of us using more of our brain potential in a structured, practical system. Like, bro, what? Like, think about that. If it's saying it right here on a simple Google search that visualization is based on neuroscience, of course, it's your brain and how the brain works. But it says when combined with the context of what you want, the vision, seeing it, and then a strategic action. Strategic action is, what do you want? What are you focused on? What are the actions that's going to get you there? You see the vision, now you have to move. And then it seems like magic? Come on. What else around you have you not been using? You've been using all type of physical things in your reality, moving, trying to work hard, finding new jobs, trying to connect with people. But sit back and use the magic that you have. Sit back and use the power that you have. It's right here in front of you. It's literally that easy. And honestly, man, the only reason that I'm on this actual podcast and creating videos about mental powers and mindset and visualization is that I see that it works. I see that it's actually happening for me. Like, come on, I'm from nothing. I have nothing. I've always strived to have more, but I've used my mind. I use my power, and I've used what I know. I've come from nothing, dog. Really. To having the life that I love, but I still want more, and I'm going to use my powers to get that. But I'm telling you, if you should listen to anybody, it should be me. And of course, somebody with a YouTube that wants you to actually, follow their channel. Of course, they could probably say anything that, that had you there. But sincerely, like, come on. I'm telling you, like, I've shown it. I've said it. I've shown it so many times. The people around me know, and I'm trying to explain to you that if you start to use the principles that I'm teaching you on these different channels with this podcast or inside the actual cultural mindset videos, you will see that if you use these principles and these techniques, it's going to start to work for you. Trust me, it's science. It's all back. So let's keep scrolling down. So how does visualization work scientifically? All right. So when we use visualization as an action, the same brain regions are stimulated as when we physically perform an action. So the same way of actually seeing yourself and being that person who is wanting to get outside and run, or the person who wants to see themselves healthy, the brain recognizes it and stimulates it just as you are being physical, like you're performing an action. If the brain can see an image and use that image to the context to where it's in an act, why it can physically perform it, like, come on, dog. This is all written right here. We just have to focus on what we're seeing. Focus on what is going on around you. Your body is going to create the action that you see. What do you want to see in your life? Okay, then go see it. See it with your visualization. See it with your mind. And it's going to create it around you. The actions are going to come to you. You just have to first believe it. You have to really sit there and believe it. All right. Have to believe it. So, of course, we could talk big about visualizations, the science behind it, and even, what is the literal definition of visualization. But what are some of the different techniques? What are the techniques that can actually take you from someone who may have never used their mind for anything to being a master? Let's talk about that. So first off, before I get into these additional tips, because I want to say this. If you have not watched the YouTube video, that's really the first start. That's the basic beginning where you can start. Start with those 4 different techniques that I explained in the YouTube video. I want to talk about it now because I want to go deeper into that. I want to give you more. Some of the different practices that I've actually used in my time in visualization and using the mindful techniques is, one, I want to tell you this again because it's so important, is having goals, but writing those actual goals down and using all of your senses to feel those goals. So when you write down a goal of wanting to, meet the right person that you always wanted, the person that you wanted. First off, you have to imagine what that person would actually be like. So close your eyes, see in vivid details. What do they smell like? What kind of hair do they have? What color? What are they wearing? What style are they wearing? What's their body type? Imagine those things in your mind and bring it to picture and live in that. Feel that, touch, see, use that. And when you start to use those different things, you're going to see that when you use all of your different 5 senses, you're going to bring it to life. You're going to start to move in different crowds. Your brain is going to start picking out that individual, and you're going to start to see more of those people that you actually imagine in your mind. And trust me, it works. But that's the first thing. Just write down in detail and then start to use your senses to put yourself in that particular actual, situation. And then imagine the emotion. Like I said, using the senses, but imagine the emotion that it would actually have of you accomplishing what you wrote down. What would it feel like for you to be the master chef that you've always created? What would it feel like to be a boxer and a champion and just getting the battle, over with and winning the title, and they're calling your name and they're lifting up your hand? What would that feel like? Bring that emotion out. And there's a book by Neville Goddard that says the feeling is a secret. I actually urge all of you, it's about 28 minutes. You can actually listen to it on audio tape on YouTube. Check it out. And it talks about feeling the emotions of what it would be like. Would you cry? Would you, what would the air even smell like? What would your clothes fit like? What would your watch or your shoes look like? Bring those emotions out. Use that to your full advantage because it's going to work. It's going to work. Now, the next thing is to really just start to take action every single day towards that desired outcome. I talked about hard work, but hard work and persistence is really going to be the 2 limiting factors that avoid people from not getting to their actual destination. Is because you have to work every day and doing it every day and saying it every day, even when people might think you're crazy. Like my family, my daughters and my wife probably think I'm crazy because every day I'm like, I'm a multimillionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm going to say it because I know that that's what's going to manifest in my life. That's what I'm going to bring to my life. What you say every day and what you do every day is what you're going to bring to your life. That's the simple truth of it all. And I don't know how many times I can say that. And I really hope you're listening. But what you think, what you see, and what you want in your life is all created by what you're thinking. What are the thoughts that you have in your mind? Start to watch the thoughts that you actually say. Even if you don't say it out loud, even if you hold it in your mind and you never bring it to your lips or your tongue to say out loud, it is still going to manifest in your world. I promise you. I promise you. You may not really realize it, but all the living things that you have around you are a creation of what you thought. Everything in front of you. So what I'm saying is you have to take action every day towards your desired outcomes. You have to look, think, smell, feel, see every day, even when it don't even look like it's close. It's going to happen for you if you had a faith and you had a desire and you had a persistence to keep going. Trust me. All right. Now with that, you got to expand your knowledge. So the analogy is this, one, that a light bulb cannot shine more than what its wattage at, right? Like the container of the other components that makes it shine that's as much as allowed, right? But the human beings, I like to, kind of label us the same. Like some of us only know a certain capacity or a certain wattage. But the great thing about us that's different from a light bulb is that we can go out there and continue to build our wattage, continue to build our knowledge, continue to build our memory, our agilities, our strengths. We can build on those, but it's all about going out in a pursuit of trying to build those. Some people would only focus on what the wattage that they've been given in high school and never expand it to a college level or high school level. So what I'm saying is that broaden your wattage. That way you can shine more, learn more, and expand more on your knowledge. That way you can shine more. And the great thing about this and relating to visualization is that get out of your comfort zone and go see more. Go see what the rich look like, not just on YouTube, but go see what it feels like in person, and remember what that emotion brings to you. And then you can realize like, okay, I've seen this. Now I can think bigger. Now my knowledge is more. Now my wattage is growing. Now you can shine more. So go out and expand your knowledge. And then also the last thing that I want to leave you with, because we're getting up here at about 20 some odd minutes. I don't like to keep you this long, but it's always great to dive in deeper. But, I want it to be an effort for you to make time to consider your visualizations. Sit back and, of course, visualize. But even when you're not in that calm realm where you're creating, sit back and just see what you have so far. See how much you've actually created. Look back and see over your life what you've been able to create. See where all the bad, see all the good, see the things that you want most importantly. But remember that you are the creator of your life. You can have the things that you want in your life, and it's all right there in the palm of your hand. You just have to start to think and use some of these different techniques that I'm teaching you today. So I want to say thank you again for sticking by. I appreciate y'all learning and coming and building with me as I build and learn on this journey. If you like this, of course, as I always say, make sure that you, like the YouTube videos, check us out on there, but then also, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. That where you can check this actual audio tape out. And again, listen to it, tell a friend that, hey, we got some great information on here that we're actually putting together. And if you want to learn more, build more, just keep coming back, keep learning. And I'm going to continue to give you more and more of what I've learned. All right. So thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's go.